Welcome to the Metal Galaxy YouTube channel, where we bring live interviews, gigs, festival and much more into your living room. Subscribe and like, as we have regularly new content, and this time we are not going to review one but two albums: Hermitage from Temperance and 1977 from Sirenia. Both were released by Napalm Records, and we have seen both albums as well live, as this was part of the Symphonic Metal Nights, both bands on tour. And not be only tough to review these two albums, and it will be as well a very tough review because I basically grew up with Sirenia. I've been listening to 2.5 decades to this band, and actually I have to admit I never saw this was the opportunity, and the stakes were high, as after 2.5 decades I could finally see like the band being played live. And Sirenia is a band that pioneered a whole genre. They are really revolutionary, but they've gone to so many lineup changes, from Henriette, actually Fabienne was first, Henriette, Monique. Very curious as well, how is Emma going to bring all the time periods out of Sirenia, next to playing only newer stuff? So tune in and you'll find out my thoughts if the Symphonic Nights gig was a go or a no. So grab your booze and let's go. So let's discuss first Temperance. Temperance are quite an interesting band because they have 3 singers and 2 guitarists and 1 drummer, and you're like, huh? How is this going to work? It's like a very unheard combination of, but it actually made quite a lot of sense, because having these 3 singers from a different background, it creates a whole unique sound. And especially with their newest album, Hermitage, that is all about concept building, it's so perfect. Because, well, listen to the interview we did actually with Michele. But actually in this very album you have a pirate like Victor, that's Michele, and then Kristin is fulfilling another role. So each of them has another role. So it makes sense if you listen as well to the album, and you see as well in the gig, they incorporate these characters and each one have their own intonation. Like you hear in the album in Search of Gold, and as well Join Me, Victor speaking, and then Kristin in her own character voice replying to Victor, and then you have Marco as well, who plays another character. So it's a very great way, I would say, to bring a concept album alive. It goes just beyond the music, it goes beyond the images. It's amazing. And then if we speak about the album itself, it's quite a long one, like 14 songs. And you might run away and be like, this is too much, but actually I never finish things, and I could finish this album from start to finish. And the very reason is how brilliantly it's composed and produced, but second as well, the variety and diversity and story it's being told. Like one song, Daruma, it opens very operatic and it ends very melodic with Cliff, and it's a very album that has different like riffs, different kind of song levels, and it smartly as well uses the song title in the 4th song, Welcome to Hermitage, and it makes you sing along, and as a result you start to remembering the name is from the album track. But overall, like, each song is different, like it has this kind of, it's hard to explain, but each song is musically different, and it's very varied because you have riffs, you have different vocals. So overall it's a very diverse album, and each song a new character element, the story unfolds, but as well a different kind of musical direction is being followed. So it's amazing. And the same with the gig, Like, there is so much variety. You have very melodic songs like
If we were here just passing, I gave up to a life with a purpose.
Diamanti, but as well very more prog songs like Into the Void. A You're Reborn as well, so it's a band that so much different kind of things, and as well, apart from musically being so broad, there's well crowd engagement broad. There are sections where Michele and Kristin like exchanging words, expressing the songs with their hands, with their mimics, but then they make interactions like hand waves, gestures, so they really as well make it very diverse by differently expressing each song. So it's very hard to describe as Temperance as a band, basically live and as well album, but all I can say, tune in, listen to their album Hermitage, and go to their gig when they're in town, because it's an experience that you won't regret. It's an experience that you must see, because this band is worth exploring and they will amaze you with. And if you wonder why should you listen to Temperance, because we have Vision of Atlantis, Michele band, we have Marco with his 100 bands like Fallen Sanctuary, Serenity, Virtuous Symmetry. But actually, Temperance is quite different, and I would say the very reason is that each musician has a different role than in their own band. Like, for example, Michele is like more in the foreground doing the production in Vision Atlantis, whereas the role here goes to Mark. And I believe because each musician has its own role and has a different like character to play, but as well is lending a different musical talent in this very band, it makes it different from all their other bands, and that's so great, because it's not a copy, it's a totally different way of music and one to follow. If you especially love their other bands, this one will surprise you. So that's about Temperance. Let's go to Sirenia. After all, if they exceeded or surpassed my expectations. 97.7 album. It starts really great with Deadline. It has this punch. You from the beginning you want to sing alone in the Nio. I don't know how Martin does it, but he cleverly starts with a line and you are so affected, and the more you go, the more the album grows to you. And according to the promo we got, it's a neon, more like 97.7. You like this kind of vibe in the album, but it's funny to see that Nils said for him it's much more power metal, and actually I'm confused what it is myself, but I would say it's something that fits in our time and something that is modern, because this very album like fits in all the things we want to hear. Like, it's super interesting, like in 2000 something, like Martin knew that music was very popular and people wanted to listen to very gothic, like this very more melancholic vibe. So there was with Henriette Bordevik 7 Elixirs. But then there was a time that people were much more pop metal in 2004, 2005. Monica Patterson on the other side. We are like wanting to something heavier, something more electronic, something more symphonic, something more power metal. And this album has it all actually, because in 1,000 of Scars, it's a much more power metal song for me. But then, if you go to Wintry Heart, it's much more gothic, I would say. And in this very album, there are as well Beauty and the Beast style, if I'm not mistaken, in Timeless Desolation. And then there is a song that is much like Dopamine. You hear the modern influences. and it's cleverly and it's very interesting on a very interesting note. It ends with a very melancholic song, which is a cover actually, Twisted Sobriety, and it's amazing how it's so put together. Like, very long album, it's 11 songs, but each song is different. Each song explores a different kind of element that you as listeners are searching for. And Morten is amazing, but I would say that Nils contributes to this album very greatly as well, as he is a guitarist and he started out as a Dimdale days of Dollar, and I think he added some guitar riffs, and you hear actually in this very album some guitar riffs, and Emma's voice shines on this. She can do so much with her voice, it's brilliantly. And then if we go to the gig, like, Jesus, like, Emma is one of the best singers I've seen live. Like, she has so much capability of doing with her voice. She's doing like this, well, it's not a kid's song, but it's a bit of different, like Voyage, the French song. And then she's doing a very song, Deadlight, which is much more a bit symphonic, a bit something else. And a huge moment came to me, and a huge surprise is when she was singing. Like, it was like transporting back to my childhood, the way she expresses the song. And it's so true that what Emma said, she's adding her own personality as well to the music, but like the song feels so authentic, like it feels like the same way, it has the same vibe that you have been listening 25 years ago. It's unbelievable how Emma can just sing these songs. And I believe, like, the other singers were not that long, unfortunately, so we never know what it could be. But I would say Emma is a rough diamond, basically, in Sirenia, because she can do the very new songs they have, but she can as well go back in time and do the other songs, so she can perfectly sing every song of Sirenia over a time decade. 2.5 decades without anything feeling off. Every song that she sings is greatly. So I would say Emma makes what it is as well. Like, she's a great add to Morten. But apart from this, I would say that Nils adds something great to Sirenia as well, because he started as a fan, so he knows how it is to be on the other side, basically, to be a fan. And the way he expresses the music, it's amazing. He is having a great track, as we call it. He really loves to be in Sirenia, and he makes great crowd engagement. And Morten makes as well great crowd engagement, but you see he's like a mastermind as well, like breathing in the atmosphere, breathing in his music. You see that he's a creator from the way that he's on the stage. And Emma is like amazing. She has so much variety. She does her fists, she headbangs, then she makes some interaction, and you see as well that she sucks up the emotions that the song has. So she has a lot of variety as well as a performer. So overall, in summary, whoa, one of the best gigs I've been to. Temperance is a band to check out, as they are so diverse, and Sirenia definitely, they exceeded my expectations, and after speaking with them, seeing them live, I love this band so much. And like, I think he's such an amazing creator, but I think Emma is an excellent singer, like unbelievable how she can cover all these time periods. And Nils, you're a great guitarist, and of course without the drummer, and amazing as play all these songs that happened so many years ago. So yeah, overall, like, Sirenia is such a solid band, like, amazing. Check them out. Check both bands when they are on road, buy their new album, support them. Links below, and see you next time.